When I was watching the Naruto anime week to week as it aired in 2014, I could easily list my favorite fights from the series on the back of my hand. From Naruto vs Sasuke, Sasuke vs Itachi, Naruto vs Pain. At this point in time, the final fight between Naruto and Sasuke hadn't happened just yet in the manga, but I knew with confidence whenever it was time to see the two rivals duke it out for the final rematch, it would also have its spot within my favorite battles of the series, especially once animated. However, what I was also aware of was that the Kakashi vs Obito conflict was slowly approaching in the anime, and because I had already seen this battle play out in the manga, I knew exactly what to prepare myself for. The fight was okay, but nothing on the same level as the previous confrontations I just mentioned. It gets across well the tragic essence that lies deep rooted in this battle to the death, but it lacks that extra sense of scale when displaying more the physical fight itself that unfortunately makes the battle feel short-lived as it's only one chapter long. It's almost like we're just seeing a montage and missing all of the details that led to these moments. So honestly, while the fight is okay at best for me and is definitely carried by the emotional story this conflict is telling rather than the physical actions being delivered to the players on the field, I wasn't expecting anything extravagant when it was time for the anime to reach this section of the story. That's until episode 375 of the Naruto Shippuden anime aired, and I was wrong, completely wrong. The fight between Kakashi and Obito gave me a whole new appreciation for the story Kishimoto had built up to for these two individuals, because thanks to the anime, everything surrounding this conflict had just been elevated to a whole other level. The animation, the art, the extended content, the music, the voice acting, just everything about this fight was perfect from start to end. What had once been a battle that I thought was fairly decent at best had now become one of my most favorite fights in all of anime. This right here is what I consider to be a masterpiece. It's that simple, but it also isn't at the same time. Kakashi vs Obito is without a doubt regarded by the Naruto community as one of the greatest showdowns this series has to offer. If it's not someone's top 1, then it's most certainly in the top 3 or 5. There's a good reason why this battle was so immaculate, and I thought such a fight would be interesting to dissect, because it's not just all about how pretty the physical impact of these punches look, but also the profound emotional impact that gets delivered with every single attack. This is the tragic beauty of Kakashi vs Obito. Of course, like I just touched upon, one of the most crucial components to this fight isn't the visual spectacle itself, but instead the story that has led up to these events. When reading the manga, it's very apparent that the most important element of this conflict is what this fight means for both characters. This isn't any random brawl between two nobodies, but rather two pivotal characters that have over hundreds of chapters worth of emotional build-up ready to be unleashed. That's why it's crucial we get in the right headspace leading up to this battle. The very moment the curtain dropped to reveal the type of conflict Kakashi would be facing. Under the mask was Obito Uchiha. The realization kicking in immediately for Kakashi that this wasn't only his childhood friend standing before him, but on top of that, the childhood friend who was responsible for dragging the world into a war filled to the brim with death, chaos, and misery. This is understandably quite the burden for Kakashi to bear, because as I said, he's dealing with two life-changing discoveries back to back which would only make someone question the whole point of existence at this moment. It's like his journey through life has been nothing but a lie up to this point, especially since Obito was responsible for how Kakashi chose his way of living. In fact, it destroys Kakashi so much that his will to continue the fight completely shatters on the battlefield, getting treated quite literally like garbage from Obito, both through words and actions, as Kakashi just takes it all. He accepts that he is garbage because he couldn't keep his word of protecting his comrades, and now Obito returning is seen in a way of Kakashi repenting for his sins. The past had caught up to him, but for Kakashi, the future had always been right beside him too. Kakashi has gone through a lot of torment and travesty throughout his life, yet he continued to try to correct his mistakes to better the future. This correction was Naruto. Naruto is the future that will benefit the shinobi world thanks to the teachings Kakashi has passed down to him, and because those teachings were learned through Obito, Naruto currently holds all of the ideals Obito once held. world, but now much stronger and firmer than ever before. That's when it all clicks for Kakashi, rising back up to the occasion as he knows what he must do. His job isn't done yet. Kakashi must protect the current Naruto in order for him to not fall down the same path as the current Obito, now having the resolve to get rid of his past for good by killing the boy he had once called a friend and hero. As the story continues, so does Kakashi's inner and physical conflict with Obito, as they eventually decide to settle things in the Kamui dimension, being a very fitting spot considering this area is only accessible through the eyes they both share. It's tragically beautiful that this is the location they plan to end one another's suffering for good, a location that was unlocked because of how much they suffered in the first place. This is why the dialogue they share with each other before the main fight commences is perfect, because it explores both Kakashi and Obito's heart and the pain that absolutely refuses to heal. If there's one line that I could use to describe what this conversation is about, then it's this: reality is cruel. Kakashi doesn't want to accept this current version of Obito, all while Obito doesn't want to accept this current reality. Both of their suffering is linked in a way to the same thing, just like this dimension. Kakashi and Obito being linked to one another in numerous ways has always been very prevalent, yet there's still one big difference that keeps the two separated, and that's how they both decide to move forward. Both have different paths, yet they're still in each other's way, and again because of this, they both reach a linked answer. It was time for them both to get rid of this piece of reality that stood before them, meaning it was at last time to begin their fated battle to the death. There's been a great amount of emotional tension that Kishimoto has built up to for these two characters leading up to this moment, so all that was left was to have such feelings transform themselves into physical actions that only continue to carry these emotions right to the very end, and it absolutely kills it. One of the best things about this fight is that it's honestly something anyone can understand even if they've never seen Naruto before. Sure, they won't understand how multi-layered this fight is, but the groundwork is most definitely there. Thanks to the music, the expressive emotions, the parallels between the characters' older and younger selves, it's all just there waiting for you to sink your teeth into. This battle is an all-out roller coaster that just keeps going on and on with no signs of slowing down. Just two shinobi, two friends, two rivals in isolated territory given everything they've got to take the other down with no mercy. Nothing is off limits, which makes for some of the rawest ninja action you will ever see come out from this series. The hand-to-hand combat is masterful, the jutsus are heavy, the tactics are crafty. Yet without a doubt the most powerful thing to come out from this fight is none other than the imagery. The battle continues to flash back to their past selves having a spar match, while also masterfully intertwining it with their deathmatch currently at play. There's a comparison being laid out to the audience of how similar this fight sequence is, yet while also making sure to remind us of how detached these two timelines are from one another. For example, the environment they're in. The Kamui dimension is filled with sharp rectangular prisms set in a dark, endless void with no signs of organic life whatsoever, and because of this, it makes this dimension feel all the more lonely as nothing is there to bring it to life. The color palette also helps emphasize this with its dark blue tones, like it's been drained of bright colors, making the dimension feel cold and sad, helping match the exact emotions of this fight taking place. But when we compare it to the environment where Kakashi and Obito are their younger selves, we're greeted with a vibrant green wilderness that seems to be never ending as far as the eye can see. Instead of an endless black void, it's an endless set of trees, making it known how life is flourishing more than ever before. Even with this being a pretty intense fight, it's still a sparring match, which means the same emotions can't be compared to their adult selves, this being made evident from how it ends. But more examples of this can be seen during the constant back and forth between past and present, which is structured really smartly, as you'll notice how the most violent of attacks being delivered aren't shown during the past but only the present, as it helps create that clear distinction that two completely different fights are taking place, no matter how similar they may look. And speaking of looks, just take a glance at Kakashi and Obito's facial expressions. Their younger selves have looks of determination on their face to win the fight, as that's the only sensible thing that would be running through their heads for a spar sparring match. Yet when comparing them to the present day, a completely new story is written across their faces. Anger, resentment, killing intent, and most noteworthy, pain. The pained faces is what's most recognizable, as they fully realize they need to cut down the person they were closest to in order to achieve their goals. Both of them, right now, are looking dead in the face at their failed past. A past that needs to be cut off no matter what in order to move on. Kakashi especially, as due to his mouth being covered, we already end up losing an easily visible emotion in that area. But thanks to his harsh expression around the eyes with the wrinkles forming a strong frown, we can tell how truly tense he is with the emotions that are putting his body to work. However, the best piece of visual storytelling we see from this fight to show how tragic of a conflict this is seen through the finale. Just when you think the fight is over for both the past and present, Obito rejects the unison sign for friendship and peace that his previous self would have reached for, his current self no longer believing in it. While the story set in the past has always been finished, the story that is currently being told in the present is still being written. An ending hasn't been decided. What makes this entire fight all the more heavy is without a doubt the music that accompanies it. You see, as intense as the fight is, it isn't backed up by any hard hype music that we're so used to hearing. Just a harmony of violins creating a deep saddening atmosphere. As this is a battle both characters never wanted to happen. It's something we as the audience didn't want to happen. Now having the context of who the man behind the mask has been all this time, and how truly painful it is for the two men who once recognized each other as comrades. It's disheartening to watch unfold, especially with it being non-stop action for just under 3 minutes straight. It's like this sequence of events doesn't give you the chance to breathe, as that's exactly how Kakashi and Obito feel. It's always one thing after the next, blow after blow, jutsu after jutsu, no chance for a breather as their pain feels never ending. And when you do finally get that short break to digest everything, the finishing blow is delivered. The anticipation to what the conclusion will turn out to be is nail-biting. Like time has stood still, both characters shaking from the rush of pain and adrenaline that's coursing through their veins. I especially love the detailed hand movements of Kakashi's hand dropping the kunai, shaking like his mental state is just hanging on by a thread after stabbing straight through his old comrade. A traumatizing sight and feeling for him for many reasons. Before then clenching his fist to muster out the last ounce of strength, he has to pull himself out, not having a single second to lose his resolve to a fight he's already committed himself to. This battle speaks volumes to how captivating a piece of animation can be when it understands the source material it wishes to elevate. Kishimoto's original work in the manga is still without a doubt the reason why this fight carries such an immeasurable amount of emotional weight to it, especially with the correct steps that he laid out that build up to this defining conflict. This is a fight many people like myself refuse to get bored of, because it embodies everything that's needed to make a single 3-minute fight some of the best anime content I've ever experienced. This wasn't just a fight, this was the tragic beauty of Kakashi vs Obito. And so that's a wrap for this video. If you did happen to enjoy what I talked about today, then please show your support by giving the video a like, hitting the subscribe button, and turning on the notification bell so you can get notified when I drop my next video. It's for free and it lets me know you enjoy my content, so if you're at least a slight bit interested, you might as well stick along for the ride. As well, do follow me over on my Twitter account at MikeyUbi. It's the place where I'm most active, so if you want to message me over there, then feel free. My Discord server is available down below in the description to join also if you wish to hop in and chat with not only me, but as well as many others from the anime and manga community. And of course, please do comment below in the video if there's anything you'd like to talk about, whether it's to do with Kakashi vs Obito or anything anime and manga related in general. Whatever the discussion is, I'll make sure to check it out. And with this, thank you all so much for watching the video to the very end. Hope you all have a great day and bless.